What's happening, guys? Welcome to another video. It's been a busy day. It's Saturday today, so I haven't filmed much, not much talking this week. I filmed a bit of my week, which you would have seen in the intro. But the reason that I didn't pick up the camera earlier in the week was just because I've been really focused on work. I'm in a real sort of focused period at the moment, which is a good thing. To be honest, I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. Like, one thing I wanted to touch on today was because you would have seen in the edit, right? And you would have seen not last week, the week before's vlog. I was having issues with my Land Rover, and then I'm having issues with one of my bikes. And then you would have seen the bike which I just showed you, which is that's a hardtail bobber, like chopper thing. It is horrendously uncomfortable to ride, but it looks super cool. That bike was not made for like comfort. It was made for like cruising from like bar to bar, or coffee shop to coffee shop in my case. and like looking at, right? One like someone sent me a message on Instagram the other day and said something like, "Oh man, it's like so cool, you know, the bikes, cars, like Land Rovers, cigars, watches, all this stuff." And I was like, yeah, it looks cool, right? Let me tell you the reality. Because when I first made like a bunch of money, I obviously went out and bought like cool shit. And to me, cool shit was like traveling, like spent a lot of money on traveling and going on cool holidays. Watches, because I'm really into horology, uh, bikes, motorcycles, and cars. And cigars. That's what I spent the majority of my money on. I obviously saved money and I was sensible with some money as well. But that is what I spent most of my money on, right? You know, then you get a massive tax bill, and then you go, oh shit, I'm not going to pay myself that much anymore. So I live on as modest salary as I can because I fucking hate paying tax. I think we all do, right? And the amount of tax that I pay is anyway. So now I'm in this situation where I have multiple bikes and multiple cars. At one point, I had like three or four cars, plus all the vans I have through the business and stuff. Anyway, it's not as cool as you would think it is. It's really cool when they're all working, and the weather is nice, and you're just like, what am I gonna drive today? Like, there was one point like last summer before where I was like, I wasn't working much. I was training a lot, and I was just like living the dream, right? And I would train jiu-jitsu or go to the gym every day, and I would literally get up in the morning, and when it was nice, it was a good summer, and I would be like, what do I want to ride to the coffee shop today? What do I want to drive to jiu-jitsu? Like I would pick and choose which vehicle. It was cool, right? But here's what people don't tell you about that stuff. Not only do you have all the expenses that come with this stuff, because things go wrong, right? So something goes wrong with a Land Rover, it's money. Like something goes wrong with one of the bikes, it's money. Like the maintenance and upkeep on these things can be expensive. And I only have a modest collection of stuff, right? And then there's just and this is the big one for me, it's just the general inconvenience of it. So for example, the Land Rover, it needs looking at, right? But it won't start, and I can't get it started, and it's just another thing to do. And if you're working really hard, you've got enough to do. Do you know what I mean? And like a Land Rover going wrong or something like that, it's a ball ache. People say to me like, "Oh, why don't you like work on them yourself and all that? Work on them yourself and figure out." And I'm like, yeah. In my head, there's this romantic idea I've got of having my workshop all kitted out and, you know, like cranking on bikes and fiddling around with Land Rovers. But like, man, I don't have the like mental bandwidth for it because I'm always busy and I'm always working and my to-do list is like constant. And, you know, I've got people in my companies and business partners and stuff like that, and they depend on me. And if I'm dicking around with motorbikes and cars and stuff, I'm not fulfilling my responsibilities. And the same with the bikes, right? Like they can, like, one of my Harleys has got an oil leak, and that's just another thing to sort out. And it's kind of like, it's a bit long, right? I think the sweet spot is to have your main car, like your daily, and to have like one bike, which is really reliable, and to have maybe something that's fun, that's pretty reliable as well. And I think anything past that just gets annoying, to be perfectly honest. Don't get me wrong, I love all this stuff, but the amount of times I think about getting rid of it all because it's just a bit of a ball ache, especially, and then when you think about moving abroad or living across like two countries, then this stuff is even more of a ball ache. Tax, insurance, maintenance, upkeep. You can't just leave these things for like months on end. They have to be driven, ridden, whatever. And I just thought I would bring it up, right? Because I see people on Instagram, and I've been guilty of it as well, like showing all this cool shit. Man, like there's like there's a lot of aggravation that comes with it as well. First world problems, I know, but just don't be tricked into thinking that it is super cool, like to have a collection of bikes and cars and it's just like you're constantly hopping from one to the other. No, you're constantly fixing them, you're constantly paying for them, and you're constantly going like, oh, fuck, I could do without this. It's interesting. Anyway, so Saturday's done. I trained today at 50/50. I've actually got 2 jiu-jitsu memberships now. I've got a membership at Roger Gracie Academy in Marlow now as well, which you'll see later on in this video, because they've built a new club. I used to be a member there, and then I left late last year, at the end of last year. And then they've built a new club, and it's amazing. And I helped them by doing all the fire certifications and stuff. And so I got to see it while they were building it, and then I had to go and do the sign-off for it. And I know how much work they've put into building it. And so I really want to support them. And it's such a good facility that I can't not be there. Do you know what I mean? So I had a word with my coach, Asim, who you would have seen demolishing me in a round earlier on. And I said, look, you know, I want to ultimately train at both and support both clubs. And it's super convenient because it means that I'll have access to classes every day. And with my work schedule being what it is at the moment, that's quite handy, because if a day kicks off and I'm really busy or I miss a session, it doesn't matter. I can just go the next day. So I want to get 3 to 4 sessions in a week. So I'm going to go there tomorrow. So we had 50/50 this morning, a load of grappling rounds. Tomorrow is a leg lock class in Marlow, so I'll take you with me. And the coolest thing about that club is it's right by Cooper's, which is one of my favourite coffee shops. So go for coffee and a breakfast there. Leg lock class at 10. And then I thought I'd dig in a bit to the jiu-jitsu stuff. Not just talking about the concept of jiu-jitsu, but like talking about how I do it, how I manage it alongside like a busy work life, because I think that is the question for a lot of guys, like training and all this kind of stuff. Look, and I do not have it all figured out, but I've created a little system that works quite well, and it might work for other people as well. Anyway, I'm going to jump in the sauna now, cold plunge, recover from my rounds this morning, and then more jiu-jitsu tomorrow. I also did do a load of work today, so there is that as well. Did a couple of hours of jiu-jitsu there. That was a cool session, right? First session at the new RGA Academy, and that wasn't the usual session, right? Like there was a load of the guys from Los Banditos, which is like a really high level club in Notting Hill. A load of those guys were down today, and they took the class and then rolled with a bunch of us, right? And because it's Notting Hill Carnival this weekend, and so their gym is closed. I wanted to jump into some of the jiu-jitsu stuff because, and this might sound kind of ridiculous, but because I'm not very good at jiu-jitsu. And so I wanted to talk about something that was, when I say I'm not very good at jiu-jitsu, I've been doing it a long time, and I'm not as good as some other people, but it's no big issue, right? Because I'm doing a lot of stuff. So jiu-jitsu is not my main focus, so it's not overly a concern for me. As long as I'm healthy and I'm happy and I can enjoy it and I can do it, that's, you know, and there's some progress, that's enough for me. But part of the problem I've had with jiu-jitsu is because I've made good progress when I'm consistently training, obviously, right? But going to the same class, adopting the same things, but still progress was always really slow for me. And it's because I'm not very good at absorbing multiple things. So, and if you train jiu-jitsu, you'll know this, right? That you go to a class, you learn a technique, maybe more than one technique, and then you roll. And then the next time you go to a class, you learn a technique, and it's just this infinite techniques, and it very quickly can become overwhelming unless you're really good at assimilating that kind of information. And I'm just not, right? I'm the kind of guy who I need 10,000 reps of something before it starts to even make sense. So here's what I've been doing. In the past, I used to just try and adopt one technique and smash it, but then I would still find that I was not having much success. So now what I do is I pick 3 techniques and I pick them in specific places. So I pick one standing technique, because they're in every round you start standing on most rounds. I pick one technique from the bottom position, because you might be rolling with someone who's way better than you and you were in bottom position. And I pick one technique in top position, because you might be rolling with someone that you're better than them and you might be in top position. And those are the techniques I focus on. So for example, at the moment, standing, I've got one foot sweep or ankle pick that I'm looking at. From bottom position, I've got one sweep or like a shoulder crunch technique that I'm looking at. And from top position, I've got one like inside camping thing that I'm looking at. And then all I do is just maintain those in my mind. And every round I have, I look for that stuff. So, and now what happens is, no matter who I'm rolling with, whether it's a white belt or a black belt, I can start looking for my technique. Do you know what I mean? Because it doesn't matter if I'm winning or losing the round, I'm still getting the work done. And that's the most important thing, because to me, it's not about winning the round. It's about refining my techniques. And the first time I did it, I was at 50-50 at Asim's gym. And it was great, man. Like, I started going for the shoulder crunch thing and figuring it out. And then, some things won't work, and then you have to kind of refine it, and you go back, and it can take, I'll spend probably a month doing the same things. And it's been really useful. So if you're like me and you train jiu-jitsu and you sort of like duck in and out of different clubs and you have to grab sessions where you can, then this might be a really useful tool. It's worked really well for me so far. I've started hitting those techniques in nearly every session. I think actually the last 2 sessions I've done, I've hit at least one of each of those techniques. So I'm getting successful rounds in. So yeah, I thought I'd share it. It's quite handy. I'm sure there's carryover there to other things. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure there's got to be. But if you train jiu-jitsu, let me know in the comments below. I'd like to know how many people watch these videos who actually train. It might be quite interesting. Some of you, I know that there's some people who I train with who watch these videos. But yeah, let me know. Or if you're interested in training jiu-jitsu, then let me know in the comments below. All right, guys. I think I'm going to wrap the video up here because I got home. I've done a bit of work. The sauna is on. The cold plunge is ready. So I'm going to jump in the sauna, do a cold plunge, bit of back and forth. And then this evening, take the bike out when it cools down a little bit. And that's it. So thanks for watching. If you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you like this video, make sure you drop a like. And I drop 2 videos every week. The next one will be on Wednesday. That's all the business related stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in Wednesday's video.